Let's get on the record. We're in docket 5230 GR 109, the application of St. Croix Valley Natural Gas Company for authority to increase rates for natural gas service. And this is Mike Newmark, the Administrative Law Judge for the PSC. We're connected through Zoom. We have the utility personnel and representatives in attendance, and as well as commission staff. I have one person I haven't identified yet, maybe a member of the public. So let's just check in. Is it Lynn Gorslin? Just wondering if what your affiliation is, if any, with the utility. Okay, well now, there you go.
Okay. Yes, we're my friend and I are just here listening in. We're members of the public.
All right, great. Okay, just I'm glad to know that. So there will be an opportunity for the public to comment at the end. So just stay on the line and I'll make you aware of that when that time is, okay? All right, while you're on the phone, I'm not going to, I'll just have you listen. And if you could, well, you were muted before. There you go. I think you just muted again. That's fine. All right, so yeah, we have the process here today. We're creating the record here. That'll be the documents we identify as exhibits and verify under oath, as well as comments we receive from the utility commission staff and members of the public. We are collecting public comments in writing as well, and they are due February 24th, this Friday. And we can receive them either through the commission's website or by US mail. My understanding is we do have one comment on file so far, but if anyone's listening, or if you get word of this case before Friday, don't hesitate to give us a comment. And that's probably all we need for the notice of hearing. Just going to remove that from our screen share. So we have a little bit of a complication just in terms of the logistics here, besides the audio problems. Commission staff did issue an email that recognized sort of the basics of the case here, who's attending, and the documents offered for the record. And then on review, not too long ago, I realized that list here of offered documents is incomplete. So I did create a new list. Basically, it's the documents most likely to be used for the record that are already filed on IRF. So really no surprises here. I just wanted to make sure we go through this list and identify the documents that we will be admitting to the record. And I guess what I'll do first is just get the opinion of the applicant on these documents. And let me ask first that the Attorney Williams, if you could just introduce yourself. I probably should have had you just state your appearance before.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is Attorney Bill Williams, Belmore and Richter, appearing for St. Croix Valley Gas.
All right. So if we can go through the list, just get your opinion, and if the applicant utility personnel want to chime in as well, and commission staff, feel free. But I'm just going to highlight the documents that should probably get in the record. So we'll start with the application. Probably no disputes there. The public comment, just highlight that. In terms of the next grouping here, is just the way this program sorts the documents on IRF. It's by IRF document type. So these are the documents filed as correspondence on IRF. So there's the notice to customers. We'll need that in the record. And then we have the cost of service study letter and the rate model changes letter, update to rate model, reflecting interest rate changes. Any need for those documents on the record? Just chime in if anyone knows the answer to that question. So it looks like
I think it's up to staff whether they want those on the record or not. Those are issues that we had back and forth on, and I think came to final agreements on.
Okay, yeah, I guess if the final agreements are reflected in the final documents that staff will be offering, the final exhibits, we don't necessarily need them in. But if it's there's something beneficial to that.
Say Judge Newmark regarding the cost of service study and rate design letter, just want to point out again that attached to that are actually the exhibits that I was going to sponsor.
Okay,
So whatever the preference is, I think in the past if they're included, we've just done one or the other.
okay,
So-
so that's cost of service and rate design are attached to this one. To,
Yep, yep. The two exhibits are attached to that letter.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that's the final versions then?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Your Honor, there's also a letter from the company. It's 454-913,
Mhm.
agreeing
Well,
with the revenue requirement proposal. I
Yes.
don't know if you've got that in a different category, but
Yes, I'm going to we'll just go down the list as it's
Okay.
presented here. Yeah, unfortunately, like I said, it's just the nature of this report. It goes by document type, not by any other logical way. Another idea I had though is I'm just gonna highlight the staff exhibits green. So we can flip down to data request response. So I know staff had indicated that they were going to produce an exhibit that compiles a list of data requests and responses. In this type of case, it's actually not really it's not really required that you do that. We can avoid that step because it's a delegated decision and it's really an undisputed case. I can accept these documents as they are filed on IRF without creating the extra step of the data request exhibit. So I guess my question for staff would be, and the applicant is there anything we don't want from this grouping? It's all the staff data requests and responses, or is there only a particular one that we're looking to put in the record?
I would suggest that the corrected copies should supersede the document they correct, just
Okay,
make a cleaner record.
sure, that sounds reasonable.
And Judge Newmark, we usually don't include the initial data requests that are filed with the application.
Okay, so just so which ones would I?
The ones that would say like data request number 6284,
Those are
the ones that
initial.
have a numeric behind them. Yeah. Otherwise, if it's got the staff's name or initials, those
Okay.
would come in.
Staff initials and corrected. Right, this may take a bit of looking here. So we'll need the requests with questions or the questions in the answer in the responses. Anyone know that?
Usually we provide the answers that
Mm.
correspond to the question. So it's kind of a
I'm sorry, you're kind of fading in and out. I think your connection might be a little slow.
could be. I'm up here in the snowstorm.
Yeah, there you go. I think you're
Yeah.
cleared up a little bit here. Okay, so just repeat what you said there about the answers and questions and answers.
The exhibit that we typically sponsor includes the question as well as the answer, typically. So if
you
you
do-
just include the data request with the individual's name, you may not get the answer with it.
Okay, so all the named requests, we'll put those in. Okay. I don't know why I'm not able to get. There we go. So how about the revised staff merchandise and supply adjustment? Is that an initial data request that we would?
That probably was something that we requested from the utility for a correction, I would guess.
And
Yeah, I
then
think that
Yeah.
after some back and forth, that was a revision to the,
okay. So these are named requests, responses. Oh, there's a corrected one. I'm not sure which that corrects, but initial data requests, initial. Okay. So I guess the one that made this JMR 1.1. Is that a Rose? Okay, it looks like that may just be a partial correcting a part of the other response. So we'll just include those both. All right. Okay, so it looks like so what I'll do is I'll accept these documents. I'll show you how I do that, just so you know, when we get down to the bottom here. So the Blair 1 and 2, we've already covered that in the cover letter document, the cost service study and revenue requirement letter.
Mhm.
So then the revenue requirement exhibit as well, that's covered in that.
Could you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so these 3 documents, PSC, Blair 1, 2, and revenue requirement, those were covered in, and I'll just scroll up.
Judge Newmark, the revenue requirement exhibit would be a separate one.
Separate. Okay.
Yeah, that is a
That's
separate
great.
exhibit.
Okay, got it. Okay. Good.
So we'd absolutely want that included in the record then.
Yes.
Okay, not a problem. Okay, and then of course, the applicant testimony will include that. Oops, yeah, I got it. And
Yeah, weren't the Blair 1 and 2 supposed to be in the,
yeah, and what, so that's a duplication of this filing. Let me just scroll.
Oh.
So the Blair 1 and 2 are included in this filing, cost of service study and rate design letter. So just to avoid the repetition, we'll just include the version that comes in there. And so I think that's all we're looking for. And so just so you know, we don't, this, because like I said, this is a delegated decision and it's not disputed. What the record looks like when we tell the administrator what to look for in the record, what I tell them to do is go onto our CMS system, our case management system, and they will. Oh, it's supposed to change. Okay, I'll have to open this up a little. Hang on. So this is our web public-facing version of this case management system. If you go and search the docket, you go to the hearing reports tab, you'll see this this report. Right now, this is what we currently have. So as you can see, the documents that staff had originally identified on its email, I put those in already. So those were accepted for the record. So what I'll do is I'll include the rest of those documents on this list. So we don't need to do any further process. That'll be available to the decision maker to review. And these are just links to IRF. So they go right to IRF. Also, there'll be a link to the well, there'll be the location on YouTube for the recording will be there as well. So all that, just a snapshot of the record, will be available.
But, Your Honor, does that include Mr. Peepgrass's pre-filed direct testimony?
Well, I'll have to add those in when we after we adjourn. But yes, it'll be. So we have his testimony here and his exhibit up here. So they'll be included along all the green and yellow highlighted documents. Well, I'll put those on the list in CMS. So they'll be available for the decision maker to review. So that's the plan. So if for some reason I make a mistake on that list, someone let me know. But that's my intention. We'll get all those documents onto CMS, and that'll be available for the decision maker. So I think we can get started now that we know where we're at. Hearing a bit of crosstalk here, I'm not sure.
Your Honor, Mr. Peepgrass would like to put in some additional live supplemental testimony, not long, a little bit. So whenever that's appropriate, we'd like to get that on.
That's great. So what we'll do now is we'll call the applicant witnesses, and I can leave that up to you, Attorney Williams, to call Don Peepgrass and then also ask him any follow-up questions you have. That's not a problem. So
for clarification, do you want him to re-authenticate what you've said is already going to be in? I mean, with the usual
Yes, he'll just need to verify those documents under oath. Yeah. And we
Okay.
can go through the list if you need to look at it again.
I think I've got it.
Okay. All right.
So, right.
Okay, so can we call Don to the stand here?
Mr. Peatgrass, yes.
I'm here.
All right, so let me swear you in. I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm?
Try to get it into the screen.
That's fine. I believe you. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, great. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Please state your name and your work address for the record.
And my name is Donald J. Peatgrass, and I'm president of St. Croix Gas, and we're located at 415 South 2nd Street in River Falls, Wisconsin.
Thank you. Did you cause to be prepared and filed the application in this docket that's been marked as PSC reference number 435249?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and did you also prepare and cause to be filed the pre-filed testimony submitted under your name bearing reference number 435250?
Yes, I did.
And did you also prepare and cause to be filed the pre-filed exhibit, which has been identified as document 435251?
I did, and that was prepared with the assistance of Stephanie Brown.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any changes or corrections to the application, the pre-filed testimony, or the pre-filed exhibit?
No, I do not. Other than I think one of the documents listed above referred to the interest rate changes because at the time we filed the exhibit, we did not know what the interest rate was going to be on the long-term debt that we took out. And that was subsequently updated to reflect that.
Thank you. Did you also prepare and cause to be filed the letter agreeing with the staff's revenue requirement proposal, which bears reference number 435913?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and finally then, did you prepare and cause to be filed the proof of mailing of the notice to customers, which has been identified as 459-584?
Yes, I did.
Your Honor, I move that the documents that we've identified, and I can go through the reference numbers again, be admitted into the record.
Oh, no need to review that. Thanks. Yes, they're in the record.
Mr. Wheatgrass, do you have any other testimony you'd like to offer in this docket?
Yes, I do.
Please proceed.
There is just one thing that I would like to have put on the record. Understanding that I have accepted the staff's positions on the issues in this case, I do, excuse me here a second. I do want to raise my disagreement with the inflation rate that was used for the test year by staff. St. Croix Gas filed a 7% inflation rate, which was below the rate that was in effect at the time of filing. And staff has chosen to use 2.7% for the test year. And even here, 2 months into the test year, the most recent inflation numbers are 6.5%. So I just want to make that part of the record that while we accepted it, I disagree with the 2.7%. I'm not requesting any changes here. We've agreed to accept the filing as it is, but It was a concern of mine from the beginning, and it remains a concern. And I just wanted to state that.
Do you have anything else you want to offer for the record, Mr. Peepgrass?
No, that's it.
Thank you. Mr. Peepgrass is available for cross-examination.
Okay, does staff have any questions for the witness? No, not seeing anyone. All right. Okay, so we'll move on. All right, let me put the screen share back on. And we'll get back to our list. All right, so we have the staff documents, and I believe we'll usually start with revenue requirements. So who do we have from staff that can verify the revenue requirement exhibit?
Hey, John King, Your Honor.
All right. And boy, at risk of making this more technical, can you maybe just get closer to your microphone just physically? Because I think it's just a little low in volume compared to the other people.
Can you hear? How about that?
Okay, that'll work. Let's hopefully can everybody hear him, or are they having trouble?
Really?
All right, so let me swear you in. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right. So the revenue requirement, just give your name for the record. Sorry.
John King, PSC auditor.
Okay, great. And just looking for that at that revenue requirement exhibit, you were involved in creating that. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And is it complete and correct to the best of your knowledge?
It is.
All right. Any other documents that we identified here that you should be verifying, or is it just going to the cost service study? I guess really just the cost service study and rate design is the next document. So I don't believe there's anything else for you to verify. Did you have any comments you'd like to make?
Not at this time.
Okay, all right. So yeah, and just to note, so we're all clear. So the data requests and responses, we don't need to verify those. I'm assuming the commission staff asked us questions and the utility responded. Everyone's accepting those answers at this time. It's usually not our process to verify those individually. But let's move on then to cost service study and rate design. Here we go. And I believe that's Tanner Blair. Is that correct? All right.
Yep.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right. So again, state your name for the record, please.
My name is Tanner Blair.
Okay. And your position with the commission?
Yeah, I'm director of the Bureau of Rates and Finance.
Okay. And cost service study and rate design letter, which includes the two exhibits, Blair 1 and 2. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, I am.
And is the whole package there complete and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, it is.
Did you have any comments?
No comments.
All right. So that and so before I move on, were there any questions for staff witnesses from the applicant?
Your Honor, the company has no cross-examination for any of the staff witnesses.
Okay, thanks. So I believe that's all the documents we need to verify. In addition to those documents, I'll also be accepting the public comment by J.C. Herod. Otherwise, I think that's the documents we'll put in the record. Like I said, you'll see them on the CMS system as part of the record and the recording as well. We'll make the record available to the decision maker in the case, which I believe is Christine Nieto, the division administrator for the Division of Energy Regulation and Analysis. But before we adjourn, I did want to check with any members of the public in attendance. This is the moment if you wish to make a comment. I think there was one member of the public listening in at one point here. I think I see them here anymore. Maybe the technical problem scared them away. I don't know. All right. So no members of the public in attendance at this time, but the opportunity to comment is still available in writing up until Friday, just so people remember that. Otherwise, anything else? Questions about the process before we adjourn? No? All right, well, hearing none.
Yeah.
No, I'll just say that I found everybody on the staff pleasant to work with, and so I want to thank them for that.
All right. Well, thanks very